Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. I'm not wearing my watch. I thought I was wearing my watch. I hope everyone is doing okay this morning. This video is going to have to be relatively quick because I need to get on the road. But one of my subscribers pointed this out and he thought this was, he or she, I don't remember which, pet hacker, but people can call themselves Pat and be a woman. Liked the story, thought it was an interesting story, brought it to my attention. And I agree. And there's been additional information now on the story. So, in a nutshell, douchebag, rich plutocrat asshole, Elon Musk, the guy who sent a rocket ship in space just for the shits and giggles of sending a rocket ship in space, playing a badass song by David Bowie, Space Odyssey, mind you. But think of all the resources it took to do that. Think about that. There are people laying on the street, maybe 100 miles away from where Elon Musk is sending up a rocket ship just purely for shits and giggles as a PR stunt. Now, let's fast forward. Cave divers in Thailand. They're kids who are trapped. And those kids meditate because those kids don't have anything else to do. So they meditate. They try to keep calm. A caver, Vernon Unsworth, I think that's his last name, British, living in Thailand, knew his way through the cave. And he had been working with authorities essentially to help rescue the kids in the cave. Out comes an egalitarian plutocrat to the rescue, Elon Musk. Elon Musk says, hey, I have a submarine that may help you in pursuit of this. And he shows up at the cave and here's the submarine. Listen to what Unsworth had to say about the device and Elon Musk's assistance in this. Because this is not the beginning and end of it. This is not the worst part. Let's hear him.
Stick his submarine where it hurts. Just had absolutely no chance of working. They had no conception of what the cave passage was like. The submarine, I believe, was about 5'6" long, rigid, so it wouldn't have gone round corners or round any obstacles. It wouldn't have made the first 50 meters into the cave from the dive start point. Just a PR stunt.
But he went into the cave.
And was asked to leave very quickly. And so he should have been.
Now, Elon Musk gets a tweet. Essentially, he becomes aware of that. And he flips out on Twitter. And then flipping out, he calls this guy a pedophile. He calls him a pedo, quote unquote pedo. Now that's pretty fucking amazing. Now, everyone understands that this guy was instrumental in getting those kids out alive. Not Elon Musk, not the plutocrat, not the heroic plutocrat coming to the rescue, given an unworkable situation for a purely PR stunt. He didn't like that. You didn't assuage his sensibilities as a rich fuck. So he goes on Twitter and he flips out calling the guy pedo. Now, here's the catch. Lawyers have approached Vernon Unsworth right here to open up prosecutions. Oh, I love this. And when I mean prosecutions, I mean lawsuits, lawyers. They're talking about potential suing. Now, Elon Musk has walked back, but I got to be honest, I don't give a shit if he walked it back. I want you to open your wallet. You have enough money to waste resources to send a rocket ship in space. If you call me a pedophile with your high-profile Twitter account, what are the boys? Where are the girls? Where are the people who you're using to justify this claim that this person touched kids inappropriately? Where? With all the resources you have at your disposal, hey, maybe you have spooks and people who are whispering in your ear. So show your evidence. Because if you don't have any evidence, you better open your wallet. That would be my disposition. That's a big fucking deal. So, right here. The British caver that Elon Musk called a pedo guy on Twitter says he has been approached by British and American lawyers following Musk's name calling and is seeking legal advice. The caver was part of a team that helped rescue 12 boys trapped in a Thai cave Musk's comment was made after the cave said the Tesla Mini sub sent to Thailand had absolutely no chance of working. Worthless. You created a worthless device, at least within the context of doing anything real and substantial. This story is fascinating. A rich fuck didn't assuage his ego enough. I love it. He wouldn't have made it to 50 meters of the cave. So apparently this is the tweet that Musk saw that sent them off, in which case he shit himself. Never saw this British expat guy who lives in Thailand suspicious at any point when we were in the caves. Only people in sight were Thai Navy Army guys who were there, who were great. Thai Navy SEALs escorted us in, total opposite of wanting to leave. Now, am I going to believe Elon Musk? Or am I going to believe everyone else? CNN reported that the diver in question, Chiang Rai resident Vern Unsworth, played a critical role in not only finding the 13 members of the trapped soccer team, but spent 17 days in the complex helping extract alongside of other specialist cave divers. So what the fuck is Elon Musk talking about? What is he talking about? If everyone else accepts, this is not magic, there's no conspiracy, everyone for the most part understands what's taking place. I don't necessarily doubt CNN's reporting on this. I mean, the guy was in there for 17 days. That's a long time to be in. Then what is Elon Musk talking about? He's talking out of his ass. And in one of these cases of talking out of his ass, of not having his ego assuaged enough for creating an unworkable device that doesn't do shit in this particular scenario, flips out. How small and frail his ego. Water level was actually very low and still not flowing. You could literally have swum to Cave 5 with no gear, which is obviously how the kids got in. It's not true. I challenged this dude to show final rescue video. Huge credit to Pump and Generator team, unsung heroes. Oh, his ego is not assuaged enough. I love this. I love this. No, really, my device was a great help. My device was amazing and immaculate, and I don't know who this man is who's not assuaging and kissing my butt cheeks in this particular way that the Americans typically kiss my ass cheeks. How dare you, sir? How dare you? As he flails his poo on Twitter. You know what? Don't bother showing the video. We will make one of the mini sub pod going all the way to K5, no problem. Sorry, Pedo guy. You really did ask for it. Did he? What did he do? What did he do? He told the truth about your fucking worthless sub. That's what he did. Or at the very least, worthless in the capacity of this particular event. Your ego just didn't like it. You just don't like the idea that he's talking shit about your device and saying how your device was unworkable for the task to which they were finding themselves. It's amazing. You should sue the shit out of Elon Musk. He has the money. He has the resources. He has the money to make a rocket ship and throw it into space that has no practical function at all other than some kind of PR stunt. So I'm not necessarily shocked that he seized upon this opportunity for kids who really were in jeopardy and really needed assistance for a PR stunt. Doesn't shock me in the least. He just doesn't like being called out for it. And he doesn't like any hit to some weird device that he made that was impractical and unworkable. It's amazing. Elon fucking Musk. Vern, two things. Good fucking job on the rescue. It is great that there are people like you around in times of need. And second, take the lawyers up on their advice. I hope they are vultures. I hope they're in it for the cash. And I hope they ream the shit out of him. The next time he wants to get on Twitter and call somebody a pedo guy, I hope he thinks twice. When you take a hide or chunk out of his voluptuous monetary hide, let's say it that way. Eat the rich. Start with Elon. I'll end it here. I'm not going to keep this long. All right, guys, I need to get going. I'm going to be on a radio show. What is it called? Jesus Christ, slipped out of my head all of a sudden. What is it called? What is it called? What is it called? By Any Means Necessary. I was like, think Malcolm X. Think Malcolm X. Yeah, it's going to be a radio show by Any Means Necessary on Sputnik. So, I got to be honest, I don't necessarily I don't necessarily. I gotta be honest. I'm not fully understanding what's on the show, but it should be good. It should be interesting. I've seen the bits and pieces, but they should be badass. Wow, Musk is the kind of guy that leftards love. Why? He's walking around with like $1 billion. Why am I gonna love him? I don't even believe he should have that much cash. I don't believe anybody should have that much cash to be walking around with. So no, there are Democrats who love him, but think about what's taking place here. Elon Musk's sensibilities were hurt because the guy questioned his device is unworkable. If your device is unworkable in that situation, your device is unworkable. From the standpoint of the guy that's been in that cave for 17 days, the idea of some rich fuck parachuting in saying that he should get some kind of credit for his device is a little problematic. And he looks at it as more of a PR stunt when he's doing the hard work of actually trying to rescue the kids. Has nothing to do with me loving X or me loving Y. Ultimately, Elon Musk's feelings were hurt, and he called somebody a pedophile because his feelings were hurt. If those lawyers are involved in the process, they should sue the shit out of Elon Musk. Can Elon Musk justify calling the guy, saying that the guy was messing with kids? The answer is no. The answer is no. They shouldn't have did it. So I'll leave it here. How many people did he help, Joshua? It's just a PR thing. It's great your family got some splash by it. Joshua Zapata, except for he has a proven track record, not to say that the man is perfect, most definitely he isn't, but please don't just regurgitate headlines. Did he or did he not jump in to put in a sub? The answer is yes. Was that sub unworkable? The answer is yes. Did he call somebody a pedophile when the guy said something bad about his submarine? The answer is yes. All of those things are yes. All of those things are yes. So which part am I missing? Which part am I regurgitating? Was Vernon Unsworth for 17 days? Yes. Was Elon Musk there? No. No. It's like, come on. Come on. Also, by the way, and I'm glad you brought that up, Kevin, I've heard the pedo thing used against Elon himself. I've heard the pedo thing used against him too. So, yeah, whether the left likes him or not, I don't care. I don't care. It has nothing to do with me. He called the guy a pedophile because Elon Musk didn't necessarily like what the guy was saying about him. He called the guy pedophile because the guy said something bad about his device that he didn't necessarily like the guy saying something bad about his device. He has no evidence, no information. There is nothing that gets across Unsworth has anything to do with kids, sexual or otherwise. Unless Elon has a picture, a film, a video, a word of mouth, something, that Elon Musk should be sued. He just called the guy a pedophile. Now, what is your projection? What is your protection of Elon Musk in this case? Did he not call the guy a pedophile? Was his feelings not hurt by him attacking the guy for talking about his device? Did he really have any real effect in this process? I guess I'm getting to the point of there's a reason why Unsworth is annoyed in this situation and saying essentially, this device is worthless. It's because you have some rich fuck that jumps into a particular place and to some degree wants some level of credit in this process. When the people who are actually involved in this, doing the hard work of this, not just putting their money, here's money, actually doing the work, are saying this device was worthless to the case to which it was suited or presented. I'm not saying that a tube filled with air is not a great use if you're just going sea diving. If your name is Elon Musk and you don't have anything to do because you have tons of money and you want to get into a tube and go floating in the ocean, the device is perfect. You can give it all of the accolades you want to give it. But in this case, Elon Musk jumped into a very specific spot and called the guy a pedophile because he didn't like what the guy said about his unworkable device. Now, which part of that am I getting wrong? Explain to me. Explain to me. Explain to me. Explain to me. Which part of this am I getting wrong? Joshua Zapata, Jeff Bezos is way worse. Yeah, I agree. But what does that have to do with Elon? What does that have to do with him? I agree with you that Bezos is another rich fuck. But what does that have to do with the rich fuck I'm talking about now? Explain to me. Explain to me. Explain to me. So your point makes absolutely no. I understand how people market, but the entire thing is renewable energy. Dude, you're missing a point. Just because somebody takes their money and does something good with it doesn't excuse them in perpetuity. It doesn't. And I got to be honest, I would prefer that that stuff be held by workers, not Musk. Musk is in this to maximize his profit. The moment that you lose sight of that, you miss the point. I am not looking for egalitarian plutocrats at all. I'm trying to put plutocrats out of business. That's what I'm trying to do. Elon Musk, that's great that in some things he does well. Good for fucking Elon Musk for doing those things well. You good take care of your kids in the sense of, yes, you're doing things that are good for the planet. But in this particular case, Elon Musk was trying to do a PR stunt, and he called the guy a pedophile. That's what it boils down to. Now, using his big public space of calling the guy a pedophile, what do you think the guy should do? You've just slandered and smeared this guy's character after he was heroically working to save a bunch of kids. Explain to me your defense of Elon Musk in this situation. Explain to me. Explain to me. Many of you whom still, he was talking about Puerto Rico and you lean over, I think he's talking about Thailand. Oh, I see. My bad. Oh, I see. Elon gave some batteries that ended up helping the family in Puerto Rico. Now he's the guy's hero. Dude, yes, I understand. He gave batteries to Puerto Rico. That is a good thing. That's a good thing. In this case, he called the guy a pedophile. I don't see how those two things are related. I just missed how they're related. So yes. Congratulations to Elon Musk for giving power to Puerto Rico. That is a good thing. Kudos. In this case, no. There is no kudos. He called the guy a pedophile. His device didn't work. Billionaires need to stop tweeting. There was a post that said billionaires need to tweet more. I'm inclined to believe billionaires need to tweet more. I want the public to see what kind of people they actually are. Musk should be trapped in a room with a killer AI. Oh, that's funny. It's funny. I hope you're excited about Musk when Musk is building robots that is going to be out there killing people or shooting people from space. Because if you're talking about somebody who's going to build killer AI, I suspect Musk will do it. Congrats to the cave guy for getting a big payday coming from douchebag billionaire. Agreed. Agreed. That's if he takes it. I hope he takes it. God, I hope he takes it. I hope there's some vulture lawyer that says, yes, he shouldn't have called you a pedophile, and we need to make sure that everybody knows that you're not a pedophile, and we need to file suit because if Musk believes you're a pedophile, he needs to prove it and show it. Otherwise, he committed slander. That's where I am. AIs are not killers. I know several AI. All they do is solve differential equations. Order of chaos. I love that. I love that. AI is whatever the people program them to be. In your case, they solve differential equations. In other case, they'll be killers. When a celebrity like Musk calls you a pedophile, the entire world hears it. That guy forever will be tainted. Anterior pelvic tilt. Yeah, that's a big fucking problem, man. Lucas Pompeo. Elon has no empathy. Every good thing he does is a PR stunt in an attempt to make people okay with billionaires. Not just okay with billionaires, with his products. He's a person selling a product. Don't mistake in that. This idea that, oh, he's a happy, nice billionaire because he gave away part of the resources that in no way would ever adversely affect him, how nice he is. Yes, he gave away things for Puerto Rico. Great. Great. Puerto Rico should not have been in that situation in the first place, meaning it should not have taken a billionaire to do the things that Puerto Rico needed. I grant you that he did that, but that doesn't necessarily make him untouchable when he's acting poorly in another context. Yes, that's great. He gave Puerto Ricans power. Calling somebody else a pedophile doesn't absolve you of calling him a pedophile just because you gave somebody power. Full stop. I love differential equations, but I love indifferential equations. They don't care if they get solved or not. I love that one. I love the one. That's a good one. But I don't think he's the devil billionaire. Joshua Zappa. Devil billionaire is too strong. I don't think billionaires are evil per se. I think billionaires think they did it on their own, which or that they deserve to be billionaires. I think that in and of itself is problematic in a sense of thinking. I'm just saying. I think it's even worse that other people think billionaires should be billionaires. I think it's even worse. Elon Musk taking a tiny portion of his worth in order to do something good, it's good. Does it make me more sympathetic to the billionaire? No. No. You know, Maxine Waters told Michael Tracy, for whatever reason I always have mess up his first name. She was like, I come to impeach the president. I'm kind of in this mindset of the same way from the standpoint of billionaires. There should be no billionaires if there's somebody that's homeless. And the idea that they had to take a portion to save Puerto Rico is to some degree emblematic of this problematic nature of the system itself. I don't care if he did something nice for Puerto Rico. I think it's good. Good. He was being a human being. And as a human being, he did something nice for another human being. He has vast amounts of resources. Good. I appreciate it. I don't understand how that's a defense to calling somebody a pedophile. That's where you lose me. That's where you completely lose me. So, I'm going to end this here because I am 14 minutes over and I need to get out of here. But, what did Pat say? Because Pat, you're the reason why I'm doing this video. Pat Hacker, Kurt DK, and from the design of the sub, he had no practical knowledge of those caves. No, he didn't have a practical knowledge of those caves. He bought that submarine there because he wanted to at the end say, look at me! I'm a hero billionaire and I saved these kids! Bow before me! I am Elon Musk! That's what he wanted out of this deal. And it's only because the guy popped that bubble. This thing was completely unworkable. This was a PR stunt. He was enraged. He was enraged. That's what took place. Call it what it is. Call it what it is. And before you say, well, it wasn't a PR stunt, why did he send a rocket ship into space with a guy screaming Space Oddity from what's his name, Boy? Do you think he did that for any practical concern, any practical reason? He did it as a PR stunt. All this stuff is PR stunts. He can assuage himself by saying, I helped the little Puerto Ricans. I gave them power when they couldn't supply it for themselves. That's great. You're being a fucking human being. Being a fucking human being. Well, in this case, you're calling somebody a pedophile that actually did real work, that actually got their hands dirty, that actually did labor to solve this particular issue. Not the heroic plutocrat that comes in on a parachute and gives them the... No, that's nonsense. Human beings are doing real work in order to save those kids. It wasn't Elon Musk. Elon Musk's feelings were hurt when somebody made it known. So I'll leave it on this. And for people like you don't care about Puerto Rico, that has nothing to do with Puerto Rico. We're talking about Thailand. Jamal, but AI is already taking over the world. It's called corporation. No, that's different. Corporations aren't real. They're just legal fictions. You can make an argument that intelligence is not either. I don't know if that argument works, but I think it's fucked that we had to rely on you. Yes, it is, but I'm also saying it's not evil. I'm not saying he's evil. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's evil. I don't think the rich are evil, per se. I think they're using their ends to advantage themselves. Now, if you want to call that evil, fair enough, but I don't think that's evil, per se. I think they're mentally broken or mentally fucked up in this way. I think Elon Musk is working to advantage Elon Musk. I think it looks good from a publicity standpoint when Elon Musk helps in Puerto Rico. I think he wanted the publicity from jumping in and trying to save the kids in Thailand. I think the same thing is true when he sent the rocket ship up, the worthless rocket ship up to travel around the space, essentially junk. Elon Musk is doing these things to advantage Elon Musk. It takes nothing for Elon Musk to supply those batteries. So it's like, how much credit can I give when not much is expended? It's like, come on. But I feel you. I feel you. All right, guys. If you enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe. You can always support the Patreon. And you probably will hear me or see me on the radio show on Sputnik by any means necessary at 3 p.m. this evening. That should be fun. I gotta be honest, usually when I'm on Sputnik, I'm on Fault Lines with Lee Stranahan and Garland. So this one should be different. This one should be a new show. I don't know the energy that I'm jumping into, but we'll see. So I will see you guys this evening. I may do a show afterwards, but I gotta be honest, the drive back from DC is gonna be a fuck fest. Now, in DC, before I end this, in District of Columbia, they have pot shows. They have marijuana shows. My wife is working right now to see if she could. She's my marketing advisor. My marketing advisor. I always call her my secretary, and she flips out. But my marketing advisor, she's looking up shows now in DC. They have like their pot thing, because marijuana is legal to smoke in DC, not necessarily legal to sell. Get your head around that one. So they have these shows now where people go and get stoned off their ass. Now, what they tend to do is you walk in, let's say the cover charge is $10 to get in, and with that cover charge to get in, you get a joint. Technically, you didn't buy the joint. You can give the joint back. You can throw the joint away. It's just a side note that comes in when you get in. That's an awesome and clever thing to do in order to evade the law that says you can't sell, but you can smoke. I am going to try to find one of those places, and I want to do a show from one of those places. I think that should be fun. I think that should be hilarious if I can find a bunch of stoners to put on camera and talk to. So we'll see how that works. Joshua Zappa. And why did he send a car out to space? Because he's testing renewable rocket engines, and instead of carrying a load, he carried a car. Zappa, understand it. And the point I'm making to you is these are PR stunts. It gives evidence that this is a PR stunt. He didn't have to do a rocket car. He did a rocket car because he wanted it to be a public relations stunt. That's all. But this is kind of making my point. It was done for public relations. Yes, he's testing rocket batteries, and he's doing it in the most flamboyant way he could possibly do it. Yes, he gave renewables to Puerto Rico, and because he wanted people to say, oh, look at what Elon Musk is doing. He's giving those things to Puerto Rico, and he wants to get publicity for his batteries. All of these things, to some degree, are self-serving. That's all I'm getting at. And no, it doesn't hurt him in the least to do any of it. So, I don't believe in this idea that the egalitarian plutocrat. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't. Elon Musk being an egomaniac and care billionaires, but everything he does helps the environment. Then who really cares? I feel like there's a better target to attack. Let me ask you this. Why do you believe that do you believe Elon Musk is going to change the tide of the rich themselves? Meaning, this idea of income inequality. Do you honestly believe that Elon Musk, in the situation that he is now, look at the poverty in the United States that you're dealing with. Look at the people who are living on the streets in California. Hey, what about that? You know what would give me a ton of credit for Elon Musk? If Elon Musk took a portion of his resources and got rid of poverty in California, or got rid of poverty in an area of California. This is what I'm getting at. The resources in the hands of an individual. That individual chooses things that are self-serving to the individual. Yes, he may be sending a rocket ship because he wants to test his batteries, as if there are no other way to test your batteries. Yes, he may give those things to Puerto Rico, but those are individual actions of individuals as opposed to mass actions by the state. In fact, is people like Elon Musk who's been draining the resources out of the populations across the world and across the United States. Look at West Virginia. West Virginia is coal country. West Virginia is one of the poorest states. Yet, despite it being coal country, those resources were sucked out of West Virginia like it was sucked out of a tube or something by people like Elon Musk. One being, a happy plutocrat, an egalitarian plutocrat, doesn't make it better. And just because he does one good thing doesn't necessarily mean, in this scenario where he's calling somebody a pedophile, that you get a pass. So yeah, I'm biased against billionaires. And this idea of him being a good billionaire, it's a contradiction in terms. So I'll leave it at that. All right. If you enjoy the content, I think I've already said that. Joshua, we're going to disagree on this. We're going to disagree on this. I don't think there are any good billionaires. The very act of being a billionaire is something problematic in those terms. The idea that one man is walking around with $1 billion where there are other people who are sleeping on the street. It's repugnant on its face. It's repugnant on its face. So, yeah, he gives a little bit to help other things that allow him to get publicity. Great for him. Not so much for the rest of the society and rest of humanity for the matter. All right, guys.